The Iron Spider. After Spider-Man was resurrected for a battle to the death against Morlun, his friend and teammate Tony Stark built him a new suit using Stark tech and obviously influenced by the colours of Stark's Iron Man armour. Hello and welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we are looking at one of the brand new releases from Marvel Legends in celebration of Spider-Man's 60 years in the comic panels, and this time it is the Iron Spider. Now I picked this guy up from Capel Toys. I haven't seen it anywhere else in the UK at the moment, but maybe that has changed since been doing this video. So yeah, it just says Spider-Man here. We have got the Iron Spider written at the top here, and it's again in the cardboard display packaging, which is the way forward from now on. On this side we have got him in the kind of comic look on this side, and then more of a straight posing part on here. I do think the box art needs a bit of a play. I think I would prefer the straight looking figure display at the front here, and then maybe this kind of picture or a little bit more kind of actioned around on the side here, I think. And on the back again we have a nice picture. Once again, he's only got flipping and fists in this one, which is a bit of a disappointment. And there's no bio no more, so I can't read up on it. So yeah, I'm going to have to go to Google again to do his bio at the beginning, which you probably already listened to. So I guess without further ado, let's crack this bad boy open. So here he is in his cardboard sleeve. We got the little packet here on the side with his extra hands, and then we have this extra cardboard part around here that we can see it's actually got his spider legs in there. So we're just going to crack him out to get our first impressions of the actual figure itself. Just pull him out of his little white body bag. And there he is. It's my first kind of Iron Spider-Man on the shelf as well, and this is the version that I prefer, and he looks really nice. So I can't wait to put him into some super poses, see what you can do with the legs, and we'll see in the review in a mo. Taking these pictures, and what can I say about this guy from the outset? Well, Hasbro, you have done Spider-Man once again proud for his 60th anniversary on his birthday. He's done another sort of incarnation of a figure, which is really nice. The only thing I would say, I thought Hasbro had done me sort of bad because I thought he actually would have 4 legs, but checking back at the reference and the comics as well, he only had 3 legs on there, so I'm kind of happy that I weren't missing out. The only thing I would say that this figure drastically needs is open palmed hands. All Spider-Men should actually come with an open palm, a closed and a whip, but this guy only comes with a punching and a whip on here. So these 2 accessories are literally just done in the sort of a metallic red that you can see that is casted in, and obviously have a hinge with the little peg system that plugs into his hand, which is pretty cool. And then we have the whip one on here. Looking at the actual figure itself, he's just fantastic. Absolutely love him, and I think he looks pretty cool, to be honest. And he's kind of a bit more of an adapted version of the Pizza Spider-Man body rather than a new retro line on there. So taking a closer look, we can go through his articulation, and headwise we can go left, he can go right, he can look down this far, and he can look right back up this way, so you can get a nice kind of running motion with those legs on here. Rotation at the upper bicep, or arm shall I say, and it comes up to this far. His butterfly joint is a bit useless, to be honest. It's only this way and back. Upper sort of bicep movement, and we have got a double elbow joint here and pinless. Rotation at the wrist, and it's also on a hinge. Rotation at the waist, and he can look down this far on his ab crunch and look back this way. Unfortunately, because he's the old Pizza Hut Spider-Man, the old Pizza Spider-Man, he hasn't got that kind of new diaphragm kind of movement on here, on this part, so he won't get that extra crunch in there. But to be honest, I think it would break up the spider too much. On the legs, he can go forward, he can go back, he can come up this far as well. We've got upper thigh rotation, we have a double knee joint as well coming around up to this point, and they are pinless. Rotation here at the boot, and a rocker and a pivot at the ankle, which is really nice. And to be honest, what I would say, even though he kind of sort of lacks the articulation here and all these parts, the actual pinless knees and the elbows, and I think it might be due to the sort of softness of the plastic. It's not soft, it just feels really smooth, that it just actually works, you know, rather than sometimes you only have like that, even though it has a double hinge, sometimes you feel like you only can get the one out of it and you've got to pull it and bend it around. This actually just feels so smooth getting them into those sort of those bends on there. So yeah, kudos to that. So for his legs, we can actually take this one out so I can show you how they plug in. So it's just a little hole on there, and then you've got the peg that plugs in just like so. We have rotation here at the leg, and it's also on a hinge. This part is fixed, but this part here is hinged, fixed again, and then another hinge at the other end. So in all, when you get them fully stretched out, they are quite long, to be honest, and nice and big. They are a little bit kind of soft in this sort of areas of the articulation, so it doesn't really hold up his weight, and it definitely doesn't support on my shelf because it's just too smooth and he just kind of spreads out and smacks his face on the floor. But in all, we can actually take a look at the actual figure itself and what Hasbro have done with the figure itself. So looking at the actual metallic red on there is really nice. The actual gold that they've used as well doesn't splodge over in anywhere, so the paint applications are really good. On the logo as well, looks fine and nice, and even if you pull him right back, we've got the gold all the way around. And on the back of the actual figure, you just got the extra lines. The rest is all gold. We've got these kind of braces on here, and I'm quite surprised that they didn't use the same plastic. Maybe it only comes in a little bit too soft, but I wish that plastic was used for the legs for a little bit more metallic. Going down to the actual feet, again we've got the sort of gold boots on there. Taking a little bit closer look at the detailing of the spider legs. So as you can see, they've got those extra parts, then the ribbon, and then these extra bend parts and joints coming down. Not looking too bad, to be honest. Looking pretty cool. I kind of wish maybe a bit of gold and a bit of black wash on there, just to bring out that detail on there with these sort of rivets and lines and the circles and stuff on there, not looking too plasticky. But all in all, yeah, it's a really nice figure, really cool, really nice looking, and let's try and get him to stand up straight, and we can put him compared to some other Spider-Man. So obviously this guy is kind of lacking in a little bit of accessories sort of wise as well, but if you ever wanted, you can actually pop off his helmet, and then you can actually plug on a Peter Parker head if you have got one, and this one's from the Spinneret line, and as you can see, it's a nice fit for the character, and maybe a little bit too big, but you know, nonetheless it's actually a really nice Peter Parker head with that sort of printing on there. So it's an extra accessory that you can actually attach to the figure if you do need to. So taking that off, we can put the head back on, and then we compare him to some other Spider-Man as well. Let's compare him to the actual pizza Spider-Man that I have on the shelf, which is the 2099 from the retro line on there. He doesn't stand up too well, this guy. He always kind of wants to fall over, but as you can see in the size comparison, and maybe around the torso area, they're about the same sort of size on here. The other one that I do have is the retro line Spider-Man. This is the Ben Reilly that I have, and again a sort of size comparison on there, not too bad. But then this is the Spider-Man Spinneret, which we all kind of know is just a little bit taller than the rest. He stands a little bit higher, but nonetheless they all fit very well together and looking pretty cool, to be honest. So let's just take away these guys, and what we can do, we can just bring in his big boss wearing the same colours, and these two look absolutely great together. So thank you so much for joining me in this one. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this guy, and if you're going to pick him up or you're just going to side swipe him, let me know in the comments down below. You can follow me on Instagram, which is in the description, and don't forget to ding that bell and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.